Hey y'all, I wanted to make this video while my thoughts are fresh, or while my emotions are fresh, maybe I should say. Um, I just got a call from Rick and Janet, and they told me that they finally connected with my birth mother. And before I get into how I'm feeling about what they said, let me tell you what they said. Okay, so maybe like a month or so ago, they told me that they had narrowed down a couple of places that she might be in. We're going to send her a letter, and then they were going to give her, I guess, like a certain amount of time to respond to the letter to see if she was open to communication with me. So they were basically sending her a letter on my behalf. So anyway, they sent one letter, and it was like there was a delivery receipt or something like that, but you know how you have the option for you can get it signed or you can leave it, without a signature. So they did the get it signed thing because they wanted to make sure that she was the person who got it, or that somebody was home and it was the right place. That was returned to the post office and never picked up. And then, or it may have been picked up, but I don't know. Either way. So never got a response to that letter. Then they sent another letter and just had them leave it, and there was no response to that letter. So finally, I think they tracked down where she worked, and finally talked to her on the phone and told her who they were and why they were in contact. And she basically said that she wanted nothing to do with the situation, and that yeah, basically she was just close to it. No relationship, no communication, no questions answered, nothing. Just shut it down. And I don't know if she hung up on them, or, just said her piece and then hung up, or whatever the case was. The phone call was ended. Now she does have she did get they gave her their contact information. So she does, if she ever decides to want to communicate with me, she has the option. So what that tells me is maybe she knew I was looking for her all this time and just didn't want to communicate with me. And that's the thing that I don't like about the national registries and things like that, because you have adoptees out there looking for their birth parents, but because it's a closed adoption, it's up to the parent whether or not we get to communicate with them. And that leaves us out of the equation. And we didn't ask for this. We didn't ask for any of this. So for you to say that I'm not allowed to know my truth, I'm not allowed to know my medical history, I'm not allowed to know my family history, I'm not allowed to know where I come from or who I am, and that a good chunk of my heritage is now closed off to me because you're not emotionally ready or you're not willing. And this is a decision that was made 38 years ago. And so now I have to pay for that decision. And maybe that sounds selfish, but it's like, at one point, do you realize that? Because people will say, okay, adoption is the selfless decision. You're giving the baby a life they wouldn't have had. You're giving the baby a better life. This is and that. Okay, great. Like I've always said, I'm thankful for the life I was given, for the parents that raised me, all of the other stuff. But as an individual, a part of me is missing. And the person who has the key to that missing part is not allowing me that closure. And that's the part that I don't think people understand or respect about the process of being an adoptee, or the process of searching for who you are. Like, really? So it just gets to the point where you're like, okay, when the child is placed for adoption, there needs to be some kind of letter or medical records or something, and that it's unsealed when they're 18 or unsealed at a certain age in time or whatever. So if you just maybe you want nothing to do with it. I don't know. Maybe you didn't want anything to do with it at 17 or 18. But I deserve to know that information. I deserve to know my medical history. I deserve to know my family history. And if you're not open to it, and say maybe at 17 you say that, like, I'm not open to it, but I do want you to have this information. That's when it's selfless. But you deciding to place your child up for adoption and then closing any effort at communication or any effort for that child to claim their identity is selfish. And that's how I'm feeling. And it's like, I know I should be sad, or maybe I shouldn't be. I'm not sad because I honestly wasn't expecting a relationship. I wasn't expecting a relationship with either one of them. But I was expecting them to be open to a conversation, or at least answering my questions. She would have said, look, have her send me some questions, I'll answer the questions, and then I'm out of it. That's different. But to say, look, I acknowledge, yeah, I had a kid, but I don't want nothing to do with that. Bye. That's selfish. And I honestly don't want to have a relationship with a person like that. So that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm kind of pissed, honestly. And that's why I wanted to record this right now, so, I could accurately account for my emotion. And I'm pissed. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say. But things need to change, because adoptees shouldn't have to go through this. And we shouldn't go through our entire lives with the missing piece of our puzzle. Now, some may not want to know their story. Some may not care. But many, many of us do. And we should have that right. We should have a choice in the matter. She had a choice. He had a choice. Where's mine? And honestly, according to his, he didn't have a choice either. But she had a choice. So where's my choice? Where's my option? At one point do I get to decide something? It's crazy. But anyway, so that part of that journey is over for now. Maybe, like they said, maybe at some point she'll be able to process it and decide that she wants to reach out. But for now, that's that. So anyway, but at least, like I said, at least she knows now that I have searched for her, that I know where she is. I don't know her exact address. Like, I don't know any of that. I know what city she's in. And I know that she's alive and well. And she knows that I have searched for her and that I'm looking for her. And that she knows that I conducted the search for her. And I did this to try to find her. So she knows that I'm somewhere out there wanting some answers. So, and if she can sit with that and not care, then her loss, I'll do my best to continue building the relationship with my birth father and get as many answers as I can that way. He did mention that, my birth father mentioned that the brother who is allegedly his as well is in the same city he's in. And he I think so, that he's in the same city. He also knows where her house is that she used to live in and was willing to take me there. But because we were waiting on my birth mother's response, I didn't go. And maybe it was meant for me not to go to meet him yet until I got that information and that piece. So now I can go there and try to hunt him down, the brother. Because honestly, when I first started this, and maybe I said it in the video, I don't know, is that I was hoping to connect with the brother. I really wasn't expecting relationships with either of the parents. I was expecting answers, but not relationships. There's a difference, you know? Like, you expect to get the connection. Like I said, if she would have been willing to answer some questions, have one conversation, but nothing. So I'll build with him as much as I can, and we're going to meet soon. I don't know when. We just keep playing calendar tag. Like, we'll see. We'll figure it out. But as far as my birth mother, right now, that's as close as my adoption is. So, but like I told Rick and Janet, I'm so thankful for, you know, everything they've done. And anybody out there who's helping adoptees like me, know that we're thankful. You know, even if we don't get the results we want, we don't get the ending we want in our story, having some answers is better than having none. You know, I would have loved to have complete closure, but you take what you can get, you know? That's all for now. So I will update you when I guess when I finally decide on when I'm going to see him, meet my siblings, and maybe a couple of aunts. Just meet some family. I'll update you on that. And if anything else comes up in between there. I don't know if she was given my information or not. I don't know if they got that far in the conversation. But she probably won't reach out anyway. But she has the option to reach out to them if she's willing. So, and I've been on registry since I was 18. So she may have seen it and never just didn't want to be contacted. And that's what I hate. It's like, it's their choice whether or not, you know what I'm saying? Whether or not we get to learn our truth. It's just wrong to me. So, if you're considering adoption out there, say you're pregnant and considering adoption, and you don't want it to be an open adoption, saying you don't want to be actively involved as the child is being raised, at least give them their truth. When their information is unsealed at 18, on their 16th birthday, whenever it is, give them their truth. That's the greatest gift you can give. Besides life, besides giving them, you know, giving them a better life than you could give them their truth as well. Because you don't want your child spending their entire life looking for their truth. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you later.